welcome back, guys. It is the Brothers Geek Out podcast, and I want to say a massive thank you. This is another amazing, it's a first brand new Happy New Year episode, and it's our first Geek Out session of the year as well. I want to say a massive hello to our guest, Shadia Ahmed, also known as Happy Doomsday. Where did that name come from? Bro?
Um, yeah. So hi. Well, first of all, so happy to be on. Like really loved your podcast for the past like year, maybe.
Thank
So
you.
to be on, it's really cool. It's really cool. But yeah, Happy Doomsday. That comes from like making the best out of a bad situation. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
very good.
like like at the end of the day, like bad things and like maybe lulls in your life is inevitable. So it's kind of like trying to have a happy outlook on sometimes the inevitable downs of life, but life is sort of up and down. If it was one straight line, or you'd flat out. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, trying to have a good outlook on maybe some bad situations or bad times in people's lives and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like the way I get pulled out of those situations or those moments is through TV, is through comic books, is through movies. So
Yeah.
it just felt fitting.
That's absolutely amazing. As you know, uh, I'm big on mental health and big on people's struggles and what
Yeah,
they
yeah,
go through and what they find happy. Because I think the podcast for us was mine and my brother's happy place, and
yeah,
and the things we love. So it's amazing that you got that same vibe because I saw the name and I was like, there's something to this that is going to be a really good story to kind of go from. And
yeah, yeah.
yesterday I put up a post regarding you know everything on social media looks hunky dory, but my post was based on uh, the because I went through more downs than I did ups this year. Social media will always have a part of showing the best parts of
Yeah.
the
Highlight
good things
reel.
because it's kind of like you need balance, right? But I always reassure everybody at the end of the year that it wasn't easy. It was very hard. There are moments that I was in low points where I didn't think, what was I doing? What am I thinking? Like I want to make sure that everybody, what you see on like TikTok and Instagram
But when you
is
go through those
highlights.
moments, like how do you get yourself out of them? Like what kind of things do you do to try and pull yourself out of those moments?
Oh, persevere, endure. Like
Yeah,
I got like over the past 8 years, I've been more religious as well,
yeah,
following the ways as well, and having a bit more faith in myself and believing
yeah,
in that as well, which really helped as well. Like because I'm battling every day.
yeah,
The daily struggles of anxiety. That's a part of my life now. Like so, I know before I jump on a project, before I jump on even an episode with a guest, I have a
yeah,
bit of anxiety still. Like,
yeah,
oh,
of course.
am I going to say the right things? Am I going to offend them? Uh, there's going to be things we don't disagree on. We're going to both disagree on something.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
how
yeah,
how do you articulate in that processes? And I've learned a lot in like self healing process of like we're really hard on ourselves
yeah.
as human beings. We are really hard on ourselves, uh, and it's being able to forgive yourself. Meditation has helped me massively with my anxiety. Uh, I suffer chronic pain, so I've had it for the past 7 years. I've got degenerate disc disease, which can really
What the-
destroy your mood because that's like my lower lumbar support in my back is gone. So I'm
Okay.
constantly in pain. So even standing up for too long hurts, sitting down for too long hurts. It's weird. Like it's
That's
one of those
catch
things.
22.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you damned
And
if you do,
it's
damned if you don't kind of thing?
exactly, and there'll be moments you'll see it. Like I could be in a podcast, I could be in a interview stage, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain. You can see it behind my eyes, like
Yeah.
Gibbs is suffering. But I persevere, I push through. Like things. There's loads of things to do. I think everybody needs to find
What works for
their
them
own what
personally?
works for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
100%,
Their own
because
thing.
it's nice to take advice. It's nice to ask people's opinions, but you have to like at the end your journey is what you're going to do, and how
Mm.
you're going to find peace in that journey as well. I think that's really important. Whether it's religion or meditation or finding something, it's going to be your journey. It's up to you how you're going to feel. I'm not going to dictate what you should do to help
Yeah, yeah.
yourself. I think you already know. I think people already know, but forgive yourself. I think we're too harsh on ourselves because we see so much to do now. Like compare it from 20 years ago. And before we started this episode, I told you how old I was. Uh, compared from 20 years ago to now, the amount of pressures that we have as individuals, not just like your identity, our background, the work we do, the
Yeah.
way we have to hustle and push ourselves. Uh, I think is a lot of pressure, and that's on both sides. That's all around, mums,
Yeah.
dads, people who are
Societal,
single.
like what's
Yeah,
expected of you, just like when you woke, as soon as you wake up, there is like a weight of expectations already. That's just you're going
100%,
into
exactly
every
that.
day with that. And I feel like the easiest thing for me while I do that is like just trying to be as grateful and practice as much gratitude as possible. Remind myself of the good things. Do you know what I mean? And how much I do
Exactly.
enjoy doing this, or I'm glad I have these people in my life, or whatever. And it helps you kind of ride out some of those moments. But yeah, it's like as soon as you wake up, it's like an uphill battle.
It
Do you
is,
know
it
what I
is, it
mean?
is, and I be kind to yourself, guys. That's the main thing. And I think most of the listeners that do listen into the podcast or watch the podcast,
Yeah,
uh, I know over the year it's changed dramatically because there's loads of things happening in the world as well. And like me and my brother are really close to that as well, where it's like there's a lot, and I know there's outside world to kind of persevere and endure about the madness over there, but then we've got the everyday part of it as well. So
yeah.
uh, look after yourself, guys. That's the main thing. And uh, yeah, we got deep, man. We already got deep. Look at that.
And it straight away, like right into the deep end, bro.
But other thing was, so we want to find out a little bit more about yourself, dude, because
Sweet.
we've been following each other for a little while now and seeing your work as well, and the way you articulate yourself when it comes to your passions as well. Like, so what was the entry point into saying, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there and give this a go?
For me, it probably started around so like I've always been obsessed with the world and the content. Obviously, you start off being a fan, and that's just like, and it pushes you to a point where like, okay, I need to do something about it. But so like just growing up, I've always like just remember like my uncle or my dad getting me like blockbusters of like old Power Rangers episodes, like the old original Star Wars trilogy and the prequels, and just like being obsessed with like the old like the Batman animated cartoon or Spider-Man animated cartoon got me into comics as well. And it all kind of
Mm,
just like led into that. In terms of like the journalism side of it or like the content
mm.
creating side of it, it really started around like I don't know if you remember so like old school like Jeremy Johns and Chris
Yeah,
Stuckman,
yeah.
AMC, like Movie Talk and those guys. And I kind of also got obsessed with the like the punditry side of the industry as well. So like that even kind of led me into doing journalism at uni and all that kind of stuff. Really
Cool.
does stem from just like finding that that sort of that's community online. I kind of really got obsessed with as equal like an equal level of obsession to the actual fandom and the material. I also kind of got obsessed with the community around it and the punditry during that time. It was a lot less toxic than it is now. So it was a lot more enjoyable to be a part of that community and be
Yeah,
more like had a lot more pride in being part of that community because it wasn't as toxic as it is now, or maybe like not the voices aren't as amplified. Maybe it was still there, but it's just not as amplified. But yeah, really like obviously just being a fan growing up and then discovering this avenue, and then kind of like I started off blogging originally when I was like 15, 16.
cool.
It took a while before I was like I'm ready to go on camera,
Yeah.
kind of distracted with the whole uni life and all of that stuff, and then realized, oh, okay, I still kind of want to do that. So I was like, I might as well, and just been doing it since.
That's amazing. That's good. Honestly, stick to it. It's always nice to see different opinions and thoughts when it comes to this because I think, as you said, it is toxic.
Yeah,
It's just I think that's the way things are going to be now, and
yeah,
it's a difficult part because I'm kind of like I remember you were saying I think we spoke about Red One. Like I enjoyed it for what it was. It
yeah, yeah, yeah,
entertained,
yeah.
but we had a civil conversation about it.
Yeah, I love disagreeing with people. Like
Yeah,
disagreeing with people should be fun. Like the most boring people in the world are the people that will always just agree with you. Do you know what I mean? But you can
yeah,
disagree with someone and still be civil and still like at least try and attempt to see their point of view. If you don't, that's fine. And the
yeah.
beauty of like the stuff we love is that is subjective. Subjectivity is a huge part of it. Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, so like we can be, like you can like enjoy Red One, and I'm so happy people were able to like get enjoyment out of a movie I didn't enjoy. If anything, I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, I wish I paid money to go see it. I wish
Yeah.
I also like enjoyed it too. But like for me, Red One was just yeah, it just like the most I can say about the movie is it felt like a fake movie inside a movie. That's what it felt like to me. Like, do you remember in the beginning of Tropic Thunder when they had all those fake trailers?
Yeah, yeah,
Honest
yeah,
to
yeah.
God, that's what the whole movie just
That's
felt
the
like.
concept. That is the concept.
I'm
That
like,
is the
who is
concept.
this movie made for? Like, what
It's not
demographic
made.
are we
It's
hitting?
literally. Uh, it's a mess of a movie. I can totally agree on that.
Yeah,
I think we're in that era now, bro. We are in that era because I
trust.
remember. I think we spoke about it on an episode years ago where I remember watching movies in the 80s and they were talking about this horror film 27 or
Yeah,
this number 8. We're in that era now where franchises are coming to that point where those little
trust.
funny trailers are becoming movies now.
Like Jaws 9 and Back to the Future. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Literally,
it's
bro.
like we're coming to that era now, and it's like, wow, like we've gone through such a an era of like greatness,
Mm.
and we still got greatness without a doubt. Like we've got, and we're going to go through your top 10 list, which is going to be interesting to hear. Uh,
Yeah, sweet. I'm ready.
and but we've got like some horrendous movies. I swear, 2024. I don't think I've seen that many bad movies in the cinema, and I'm thinking like, oh my god, like I paid for this, or I shouldn't have come to this. I should have just asked for a screener because
Yeah.
it's like that cost me £20 to go into London. I live further out, so it's like every time I go into London, it's
It's
20
still
quid, and
travel.
it's like
And it's
that's
like exhaustion, bro. It's like
oh,
there's like
bro.
physical drainage in itself is costing, bro. Like,
And
and
then
then you're like,
you come out of the screening, and there's a really nice community that's there, and I love being part of that community. But you
yeah.
can feel that same energy, and it's like, bros, why did I come out for? Like, we should have just asked for the screener on this. But
Out of
sometimes the hype of
curiosity
it is
though,
amazing.
what's
Yeah.
like the most sort of like the most angry you've come out of a movie? Like what movie was the most angry you've come out of it? Just like I can't believe I wasted my time to with this movie. But you finished
This
it.
is we did it. Yeah, yeah, we did finish it. We did finish it. It was Dumb and Dumber 2, bro.
Okay,
Dumb and Dumber
I see
2.
that.
Bro, I was so upset within like the first 10 minutes. And I was like, why am I so upset for? And my friend was like, you're just getting older. And I'm like, no, like I could still watch the first Dumb and Dumber and find it hilarious. I think
Classic.
that was
One of the
peak.
funniest movies ever.
Yeah, like it's peak. Like I can genuinely watch that now and really enjoy it. And I feel like Jim Carrey was struggling during that time period
Yeah.
when he did a couple of these movies where like these
And
are
during like the Kick-Ass
horrible.
2 period where he's
Yeah,
like hating everything he's doing, you can tell.
yeah. Like so, it was like he's not fully there. Like recently, his Sonic run, he's been amazing as Dr. Robotnik. I
Oh
think
yeah, that's
it's his
giving him
best
such
work.
a. It's so nice to see. So it's giving him such a like a jolt of like you can tell he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, like
It
super,
was like
super,
that
and it
like
made
'94 run.
yeah, exactly that. So it was Dumb and Dumber 2. Like me and my friends still argue about it to this day because my mate he really enjoyed it, and he was
Yeah.
like laughing and cracking up, and he was the loudest one in the cinema. I was like, bro, man, that was not funny, bro.
I don't
Like
know
this
him.
movie, this movie is it's annoying me. And I remember
Yeah.
coming out of that cinema, and my friends were like, "Why are you so angry for?" And I was like, "Bro, we just spent like 20 quid, like including like popcorn and whatever.
Yeah.
That movie was like horrible. Like it was a pain to watch. So that's
No,
my movie, bro."
that was a bad one. That was a bad one. That was a
What
bad
about yours? What about yours?
bro. For me, it was Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Fantastic Four, bro. I remember
Oh,
because the lead up to that movie was everything sounded amazing just because it was like Josh Trank Chronicle was if anyone
oh,
has not seen Chronicle, please go watch Chronicle. Like
exactly.
that's why he got that job. The movie is incredible. And then the cast was coming at like Miles Teller when he was really on the up. Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara,
Mm,
Jamie Bell, and you're just like, oh, I like the take they were kind of going for as well.
same.
It sounded like a very like horror, like monsters fighting monsters, and I was like, I'm so
Yeah.
down for this. I'm so down for this. But then, like the review embargo, which I bet you know, when the review embargo does not like lift until like a day or two before the movie comes out, it means it's a stinker. So
Yeah,
like it means it's a stinker. So I was going into it thinking, oh, okay, people who were not allowed to go see it. I hope this just doesn't mean it's crappy, bro. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go tread to Cineworld so I could be one of the first people to go see that movie.
yeah.
Came out of it so pissed off. Sorry, so angry, just so angry. Like, oh, the poor girl that was like on the way out, she's telling everyone, oh, do you have a nice time? Honestly, I never wanted to like just shove her. Like I was just so close to just being like, leave me alone. I was so angry I had to sit through this. Because the first like I don't know if you remember, the first like 20 minutes of that movie are like surprisingly good.
Very good, bro.
They're surprisingly good where you're just like, this might be all right, you know. And then the nosedives of nosedives. Like Tom Daly nosedive into like an abyss of like crap. That's what that movie turned into.
Horrible, absolutely horrible. Because again, great cast, and as you
Toby
said, I think
Kibble as Doctor
oh,
Doom. That could have been great.
oh my god, so good, so good. And like, I remember coming out of the, so that's one of the movies that actually came out, and I tried to justify it because I felt so bad for Josh because I was
Yeah, it really messed him up with that one.
like studio do not realize what they do to artists when they meddle into like
Yeah,
the cut of it. Because I know that there must be a different cut to this movie because we saw stuff in the
100%.
trailer that was never in the movie.
Bro, there's so much in the trailer that's not in the movie. When the thing drops out of the helicopter, I'm like, where the hell was that? I was in the cinema like, where the hell was that? I was expecting butt naked thing to be dropping from a
Nah,
helicopter. None of that. I think with that one though, I think it was even more than just like because I like obviously like the whole David Ayer story and like Zack Snyder story with their own cuts and stuff. I think with the whole Josh Trank thing, I think it was like literally during shooting, they were like
mm,
had no faith in him whatsoever. And obviously it's the studio's money, it's their movie at the end of the day, so you kind of I get it, but
yeah,
at the end, but at the same time, like you gotta if you hire someone who you agreed on based on their pitch to give them this money and to do this movie, let them do the movie. And I felt
yeah,
like
exactly.
because he didn't have a big enough name yet, and I don't think he helped it probably with his antics as well. But that movie was just a train wreck from start to finish. Like it really was.
Oh, it had so much potential. It had so
So
much
much
potential, and it
potential,
was like
bro.
from the Fantastic Four movies that we did get originally, and it was like, all right, they come into a point where we're gonna get something different. And I'm always interested in different movies because I read
Yeah,
Elseworld stories, so I'm all about Elseworld stories. So it's like
100. Yeah,
they do this in the comic books, and I think a lot of fans that don't kind of understand when you get a different interpretation of a character why they've done that. But it's like
yeah.
if you are going to be into the if you're going to be into this fandom, go into the books, go into the read graphic novels, read the Elseworld stories. There are multiple universes.
And
Get in
if
there.
you don't like coming from now, we're coming from people who love comics, but like if someone who loves the movies gives comics a go and they're like, not for me, fair enough.
Exactly.
Love the movies,
Exactly.
but it's just understand that it's established already that we're allowed to have different interpretations of things. Things we
That's right.
might not like. Like I don't love every interpretation of every character that's been written, like based on characters I love. But I know that there are interpretations I still love, and they don't get erased when someone makes a new idea or a new take on something. That's why,
Exactly.
like, that's why I love it when people want to go a bit weird with stuff. I'm like, bro, go for it because I want to see what made you want to do that, what drew you to doing that originally, and hopefully it can inspire like people to take more risks. Which is, but like but back to what you're saying though, it comes from the same thing of like everyone wanting like Robert Pattinson to be back in this to be in this
Mm.
DC movie, which angers me so much. I don't know how you feel about that, but like
No, I don't.
it's
I don't want him. I don't want him in the DC. I don't
I
want him in
completely
that
agree.
universe.
I completely
Yeah,
agree
I don't
because
want him.
we can have multiple Batmans,
Yeah,
and we'll be like, we'll be used to it. We'll be all right with it, and we
exactly.
get to have the different interpretations.
100%. 100%. I don't want him part of that universe. And I know the movie's been delayed, and everybody's rumors are that James may be trying to fit it in, but I'm like, it's not going to work because we just saw the Superman trailer. That
Yeah,
is not going to work with Matt Reeves' Batman. It
it's
will
not.
clash so badly. Keep them separated. But I mean, I know that Matt Reeves is a he's very articulate in what he does in his writing and how he wants to put his stories out there. I mean, his run on Planet of the Apes was absolutely amazing. Like those two last movies he did, bro. I don't think I've enjoyed movie magic at that level so much because it was
Bro,
just the depth he brought to it.
I could not agree more. Like,
Yeah.
I'll talk more about Planet of the Apes when it comes to my top 10 list, I'm sure.
Hmm.
But those movies are incredible. Obviously, Rupert, I forgot the guy who did the first one.
Yeah.
He did his job. He did his thing with the first one. He was meant to do the Gambit movie as well. But when Matt Reeves came into it and he gave us Dawn and then War, it just he took it to a whole new level. And it's back to the letting directors and creatives do their thing. And
Exactly.
Matt Reeves established this Gothamverse. I think that's what they want to call it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's birthed it. He knows what he wants to do. He's very meticulous of what he wants to do, and like let him do that without having to be connected to this universe. Like where it's
100%.
DC, let us have the Elseworlds.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly that. No, definitely. I'm on that all day, and I think I trust in Matt anyway. I
Yeah,
trust in
same.
Matt because
And I
I was
also trust
lucky.
in James as well. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think
Definitely.
I honestly don't think he wants to connect them. I don't believe the rumor that he's like
Yeah.
that's why the delays for. I honestly think the script's not ready yet, which is also a worry.
No, definitely, it's not ready because again, like Matt Reeves, he's slow. He's very slow, but he wants to do it right. Like I don't think that Batman movie would have been as good if it was rushed by any other director. I think what Matt was doing was building that universe because that fits it slots into the Batman, like what he did with Penguin
It
and
was
how they done.
seamless.
So it was like, wow, this is good stuff. Stick to that. I'll wait 2 years. I'm cool with that. As look because we're gonna get quality. If I'm gonna get quality from a director like him, then I'll let him take his time. I remember I was lucky enough to do an interview with him before the Batman came out,
Oh yeah.
and he was telling me because I was like, uh, I'm a big fan of Nirvana, so I was like, what was it that made you use that as his theme? Like,
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne's theme,
bro.
like, it was deep because he was like, while I was writing that script, I had it playing in the background, and it was like, it just worked.
It just worked. Wallahi, if I had one question I could have asked, it would have been that question, bro.
That was my question. So everybody, I remember
Like
everybody was
Nirvana and
asking.
Batman, I'm
It
melting.
was sick.
I'm
I
melting.
remember everybody else was like, had like in-depth comic book like questions, and I did as well. But then I was like, oh man, my guy brought Nirvana into this.
Yeah,
I need to
bro. You
find out
gotta
why.
ask him that. And I can imagine everyone like you want to go in being like, I want to ask something that probably a lot of these people aren't gonna ask him.
Yeah,
Because I
hundred
also
percent.
remember, I don't know if you remember, but do you remember the news coming like even before the trailer dropped? He was saying about like there's some Kurt Cobain in his Bruce Wayne, and everyone was like, "What? No, it can't be. No, it doesn't make sense." And I was just like, you know what? I think I know what he's going for. It's this
Yeah, yeah,
young,
yeah.
constantly angry, brooded person who has to
Oof.
have this like silk of like tranquility, but it's a complete like transparent veil. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's just constantly in this anger and he does not know how to deal with it yet. He obviously uses that as his outlook, and Bruce just used vengeance as his, I guess. But it just worked perfectly. It worked perfectly.
100%, 100%. I got to agree. And we're big Batman fans, as you can see here, bro. We, me
Oh,
and my
well,
brothers, we absolutely love Batman. It's one of those characters that kind of he's the guy with no powers, you know.
yeah.
Uh, but we absolutely adore that character, and I think that Batman was just groundbreaking. I remember, uh, what was it? So I saw it 2 months before it came out.
You lucky, lucky person.
Yeah, yeah, bro, proper. And I still to this day, like I'm very as a fan, I'm just a fan. I'm not a critic or nothing like that. I'm just a fan. To have
But
that
no,
opportunity,
but you at this point you are a critic though. Not to like limit yourself, but like play down your like your impact. But at this point you are a critic.
do you think so?
Yeah.
Because I still think I'm one of those
Yeah.
geeky fans, bro.
But like that's the best kind is the people that are like you and that you can relate to on a like level and you're like
Mm.
I think like this person because we relate on an every day to day like level so I would want to
Yeah,
listen to him. I want to see what he says about like this movie. When a lot of these critics, bro, a lot of them even just the way they talk down to you feel like they talk down to the audience members and they're super pretentious in regards to certain things, and they come
Yeah,
in
yeah,
with
yeah.
politics and biasy. So this is the new birth of critics, and you're definitely on the forefront of that. So like, let's not limit that at all.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Let's not.
I like that, but that was it. At the moment, I remember when they did invite me, and they said, I remember the NDAs and everything that I had to sign before that, and then like I fully enjoyed it. Like I think my first thing was that I think the last 30 minutes wasn't needed. I remember saying that to them. But watching
Okay.
it again after, I was because I felt like at that point it had finished.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't. We had two endings in that
So
movie,
you
so
didn't
I
want
felt
the
like,
so like the drive off you felt wasn't needed.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I felt like. We didn't need that, but that was just me at the time. Like the more I've watched it, the more I've resonated with it. I love that universe. I love the look of Greg Fraser. Just makes
Oh,
everything
that
look
man could do
stunning,
no
bro.
wrong. That
Exactly,
man could do no wrong.
exactly. It's like a piece of artwork. Like I was like, man, I could print every like screenshot of this and just enjoy it on my walls. Like
We'll talk.
Greg is
We can
amazing.
definitely talk more Greg Fraser when it comes to our top tens because,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, every frame this man does could be like literally hung in in an art gallery, and it could
No,
just be a random
definitely.
one. Like you just spam pause, and it's just like perfection. The
Really
dude
good,
is
really good.
amazing, amazing. Like the
There's a
one
scene on
glimmer
the
of hope with the delay we could have gotten was like, oh, maybe he can do both, but like they already got the cinematographer
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah. That would
Messiah.
have been amazing. That would have been
Yeah,
amazing. That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. But good on him because like Dune. Oh my god, what a movie!
incredible, no,
Part two.
incredible. But I feel
Like
back
I,
to your point of like not liking the
yeah,
ending. Like I can't. As soon as you said that, I was like, I do get what you mean. But I honestly just feel like the reason they left that lingering for so long is to kind of like, first of all, like establish that they're going their separate ways and that the next time we see them will be like they're reuniting. But I also
yeah, yeah.
believe like they just wanted to like name drop Bloodhaven. Like I really think they just wanted to name drop Bloodhaven for us just to be like, wait, do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. No, definitely, absolutely amazing. The more I watch it, the more I adore it, and creatively as well. Like, because it's a lot of work, man. Like, and you kind of think like they shot some of it in like Scotland and Liverpool, and they made parts of the UK, Gotham City. I was like, this is
The
amazing, man.
production design, the production
Yes,
designers, world class. Like
100%.
obviously Greg Fraser, Matt Reeves, all of that self-explanatory, but Gotham never felt more like Gotham to me. It felt like animated series Gotham. Like it was just,
100%.
it's that perfect blend of like realism, but at the same time, it just felt like this place I'm transported to. It didn't feel like, you know how Marvel, like I hate pitting them against each other. I love them both. But one thing I do love about DC is they like Metropolis, Gotham, Bloodhaven, Central City, Star City. They don't feel like real places, but they
That's
do.
right.
But they have their own sort of like there's this like Greek
Phil.
mythology thing to DC, and they feel like
Yeah,
their own sort of like their own battlegrounds, and I love that about it. Obviously,
exactly.
Marvel has like Manhattan, Queens, all that kind of stuff, but I love that aspect of DC. I don't think any live action movie nailed a character city more than Matt Reeves nailed Gotham. No, no
100%.
doubt.
I
Yeah,
agree with you on that one. Definitely. He made us really feel Gotham. And I think that was his main thing was I'm
yeah,
gonna make you guys feel this universe. I like feel, touch, smell
yeah,
this place. Like it's
yeah.
really good. All right, cool. So we are gonna segue into this your top 10. Uh
Sweet, let's go. Are
let's
you hitting
jump
me
in,
with your
man.
top 10 as well?
Hold up, let me see. I did have it written down here. Hold up, where has it gone? Top 10, top 10. All right, what did I do? What did I do? All right, go for it, bro.
Sweet. Shall I'll hit you off with number 10 then, yeah?
Yes, number 10.
Yeah, for me, number 10 was probably like for me the funniest movie of the year. I love my comedies, and this got me the most laughs. It was Let's Start a Cult. Don't know if you've seen it or
Oh,
not. It's the
I've seen that.
Stavros.
Yeah, it is good. Very good. Yeah.
It's so funny. It's actually so well written.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, a great amount of heart, and you're actually like so invested in Chip as well. Stavi is way better at acting than I ever thought he would be. and I just got so many belly laughs, and I just actually had such a good time. I felt like it deserved to be in there just to show it some love. So yeah, number 10 is Let's Start Cold.
That's a good film. That's a good film. I didn't even think about that. It's weird because so my top 10, just to like kind of let people know, is running off how I felt. And now that you've said that, it's like, oh, that should have been there.
It's
That was
so
a
good.
funny film.
It's a
It's a
funny,
funny
funny
film.
movie,
Funny
which,
film.
and we're in a time where like it's so rare and it hurts me to my core because like
Yeah.
that's what I want to do. Like obviously I said that I started off doing journalism, but I also dropped out of journalism school and started doing and like went to film school because I realized
Mm.
like not only do I want to have that kind of presence and be in touch with have to be able to like voice my opinions, but I also fell in love with just filmmaking and writing. I've
Yeah.
been writing my whole life. So I also see
Wow.
myself doing comedy and like loving that aspect and loving that world. So to not have as many comedies like around really, really like it irks me because like it was also such a huge entry like to just me loving movies as well was comedies like watching it with your boys and all of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So it's sad, but yeah, Let's Start a Cult was great.
That is a good one. That is a good one. I'm gonna have to rearrange my list now.
I'm glad that
I'm gonna have to
it
rearrange
gets
my
into
list now.
yours because it was so
Yeah.
fun.
But I'm gonna stick to what I've put down. But that I think now, so that's all right, cool. So mine's gonna be Dev Patel's Monkey Man. That's my number 10.
Whoa, great movie.
That's my number 10. I was seriously shocked on how well it's not like it's his first project. So I can see where it can be it got a bit messy for me at times. But the heart of it is amazing. Like it's a good action film, man. Like he's brought his culture into it, and he's brought he's made me an action man. He's made me an action man. That's what was great to see. Like you're kind of like waiting to see your representation on the
Yeah,
screen,
I
and people
bet.
were coming from our side of the world, and I'm starting to see that more often now, which is absolutely amazing. Like even like when my little girl sees like Moana or something like that, she's seeing characters that look like her with her skin tone, and you know, I think what Dev did there was absolutely amazing, and I think Jordan Peele jumping onto this project, helping financing it, and making sure that it's not a streaming movie that people see this on the big screen was probably the best thing that could have happened because I would have been actually upset to see that streaming. Like I don't mind streaming, but there are some movies you just want to see on a grander scale, and I feel like with what Dev did in that movie, like the parts of the cities he showed in Mumbai, the action scenes, you couldn't watch that like without experiencing it first on the big screen before you go to the small screen.
No,
So Monkey Man
100%
for me,
agree.
Monkey
Oh,
Man
Monkey
definitely
Man
for
was
me.
such a fun time. Such a
Yeah,
fun time. Just missed out on my top 10, but it was a really fun time. I do agree with you though. At times you do feel the first time filmmaker of the movie. Like, but Dev Patel is such a treasure. The
yeah,
fact
hundred
that
percent.
he directed that, starred in that, like was involved in a lot of the stunt work as well, is such a huge feat. And he did it really, really well. Yeah, like I said, there's just moments at times where I just like you could tell obviously that it
Yeah,
was like
yeah, yeah,
there was a bit of thing. But Jordan Peele's such a hero as well because I'm with you where I'm like I love there's nothing better than going to the cinema for me. But I
mm,
also understand that it's not feasible for everybody to be constantly going
exactly,
there. I also
100%.
understand that people aren't always me and want to go to the cinema. Some people want to watch a movie in the comfort of their home. It shouldn't be like you should like slap their wrist for it, but it should be on filmmakers to drag people to go to the cinema. It should be
100%.
something worthy of people going to the cinema and they will come. Sometimes it sadly it doesn't happen. Sometimes good movies fail, but if you make something with the intention for it to be on the big screen and you put the work in, people will you've got to hope that people will come. Whether or not it does,
Exactly.
it's another thing, but you got to hope just because it's always on the creator. It's never on the consumer to be dictating these kind of things. You need to give them an excuse to leave. Do you know what I mean? Like Top Gun,
100%.
nothing did it better than Top Gun.
Oh my God. So
Yeah,
that's that was that
that's
2002. No,
to
sorry, 2022.
20. It was right after the pandemic. Yeah, 22.
He
It
absolutely
was
smashed it.
perfect
I'm so
time.
glad he waited for that. He waited for
Yeah.
that. I
Oh,
watched a
mate,
documentary on it recently, but he was not giving up on that. He was like, I am going to get this out. I
I'm
mean,
so
think
glad.
about it, bro. One of those action movies to be $1 billion movie as well. That's insane, bro.
Insane. An
That is
action movie
insane.
with no capes or wands or nothing.
Exactly.
Bro, and it hit a
Exactly.
billion, and it's only and obviously I think like the fact that a lot of us were coming out of COVID really helped it as well. Like
Mm.
people were hungry for that, but I just think like tonally the whole like felt very hopeful. It helped very prideful. I'm not a military person. I not that's not it's not my thing.
Mm.
No, like I'm just not. But and I'm also not very big on American politics. I don't agree with a lot of the things and like what they like claim as being nationalists and prideful. But God damn it, I was like, let's go America when I was watching Top Gun because
But
it invokes that.
it does, and it's something interesting because we still don't know who the enemy was.
No, and I'm so glad they did that. Like,
So glad because
so
that
glad
just
they did that.
really kind of like, wow, like they really made me enjoy this film where I didn't even know who the bad guys were, and I was
Innit?
like, just do it, man.
They
Just
didn't
do what you have to
they
do.
didn't American Sniper us at all. Where American
Exactly.
Sniper were like, listen, it's them, man, or like Hurt Locker, where you're just like, I can't.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's horrible.
all right, cool. What is your number nine, dude?
Number nine. Number nine for me is a film called Exhibiting Forgiveness. I do not know if you've checked this. Andre Holland,
Okay.
is in Moonlight.
Yes.
He's super talented actor. This was made by the artist painter Paul Kufar. Let me double check his first name. But it's the
Okay.
dude who did like, do you remember you know how like every time a president, this is how I remember him. Like every time a president leaves the White House, they have their like mural. And like
Yeah.
remember like Obama and Michelle had their like mural with the
Oh,
flowers and stuff.
yes,
People
yes,
like,
yes, yes, yes,
okay,
yes.
so that guy directed a movie called Exhibiting
Oh, wow.
Forgiveness. It was his
Okay.
director's debut. It's about a black man, a black painter on his up and coming like rise to success, and kind of gets all that kind of gets derailed when his like dad coming out of homelessness comes back into his life, and it makes him sort of deal with a lot of his past traumas, but
Mm.
it's such an interesting take on trauma and like and it's linked to creativity,
Okay.
and like it's also like the fact that like all of this like trauma built up caused its like physical like defects within our main character, but the like way he escaped it through it his creativity and just also like the stuff that we go through and how it builds up and what sort of vessel we become and how it exits our body through creativity and who it
That's
is
right.
and stuff. But it's really well done. It's gorgeous to look at, like really well directed, especially for a first time filmmaker. But for me, what like sells this movie even more is Andre Harland and the performance with his family and especially his dad. Some of the scenes with him and his dad discussing their past and discussing like passed down trauma from his dad's dad and that kind of stuff. It resonates when I don't have similar dad issues like that, but I just like felt that sort of conflict because it was so well written and it was so well acted. So if anyone has not seen Exhibiting Forgiveness, it's definitely one
So
to check out.
that's on my list. So that's something I haven't seen. As you said, if it connects with you on that deeper level,
It's incredible.
that's a whole
Yeah,
different
especially if it's like
level.
because I just think there's such an intrinsic link with like mental health and creativity, and I
Oh,
think
100%.
like the way they explored that is really phenomenal.
Ah, it's amazing. That's amazing. I'll check that out. That's on my list. I'll watch that.
Definitely. Definitely.
Definitely.
I promise the rest of my list is not as pretentious as that as
No,
that
no, 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 no,
chorus.
no.
No,
It's
I'm
fine. I
joking.
love
I
that
know.
because it's all about having
Mix.
like
Yeah, I tried
I
to
mean,
have
you've
a
got
little mix
because
in it.
we have a bit of everything in what we
Exactly.
watch.
No,
You know, some you get
100%.
some random movies, man. Like this year for me, animation stole the show for me. Like
I
so,
agree.
which will as you go through the list, you'll be like, oh wow, he picked up. You know,
Yeah,
he's.
no, I
I
agree.
love
I agree.
animation and I
It
love the
stole the
way.
box office as well. Like the box office would not have been what it was this year if it was not for the animated movies.
Exactly. So definitely, definitely. My number nine was Substance.
Yeah,
Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid. My God, that movie was insane, bro.
it's a weird movie.
Very, very weird. It has that silver lining story to it where you're like, oh my God, this is like what we're kind of coming to now in
Yeah,
reality and how society is. And excuse me, I don't know, it just hit deep, man. And I love the direction they went in. And like some scenes made me feel kind of like really sick, like where I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm kind of turning here a little bit. Like
mm,
I did not expect that. But I think like Demi Moore, man. I haven't seen Demi Moore in ages. She had
I was gonna
absolutely
say, yeah,
smashed it.
it's
Uh,
like a whole like renaissance for her. Like she was
yeah.
incredible in that movie.
So definitely. So that's my number. That's my number nine. That's my number nine.
I really enjoyed
Yeah.
Substance, but yeah, it did not make my top 10, but I did enjoy that movie a lot. I did enjoy that,
Yeah.
and Demi Moore was so surprisingly good in that movie.
So good. So good. And it's
Really
it's
good.
it's weird this like for me, like she's always done like kind of mediocre roles. It's never
Yeah, it
been
feels like
like
yeah, I've never been taken out by her, but I've never went to like, oh, I need to go see this new Demi Moore like performance. It's never been that. But she carried that movie like she was
yeah,
outstanding.
100%, 100%. She was
She was
outstanding.
so
She was
good.
amazing. And I'm glad like each artist kind of get a moment where they like
They're getting
have
their
their
love a little bit.
piece. Yeah, and like I think she deserves that for that role because that role was amazing.
Oh, she's
Absolutely
gonna go
amazing.
on an awards like run, even if she doesn't win every award. Like she will
It's good.
definitely get nominated for the big ones, 100%. She deserves it.
Definitely. What was yours? So what was that? What was that number eight? Yes, that
Number
was
eight.
it.
So
So,
we're on my
yeah.
number eight. Okay, so number
Yes.
eight, I said this on my top 10 list as well. If you were to tell me that a found footage movie would make my top 10 movies in 2024, I'd be like, bro, it's not 2014. Like, what the hell? But Late Night with the Devil was so good. It was so good. Was so good. I'm not normally like a horror guy. Like I like good movies, so if it's a good horror movie, I'll go and watch it. But like I'm not horror obsessed. But
Mm.
Late Night with the Devil was really, really good. And also like I'm a big David Dastmalchian guy. I think
Yeah.
he's such a beast. He is incredible in everything he's in. Everything he's in. The fact he gets to this movie is riding on his shoulders and
Mm.
his shoulders alone and he absolutely nails it. It was such a creative take, and I'm also a big late night guy as well. So to have the whole horror elements and all of that through the devils and all
Yeah,
that kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff, late night stuff, it was such a fun movie for me. So yeah, late night with the devil.
Definitely. That's a good film. That is a good film. That didn't make my top 10, but definitely a good watch because I was like, they really made me like, I don't know what it is with like real props and it just keeps you connected. And it
Yeah,
was like his emotions as well in the process because he's already gone through something as well. And man, it just peeled layers basically. That movie,
layers upon
that
layers,
movie just
and
yeah, it just peeled
it
layers.
kept you constantly like oh, it kept you connected constantly, like you said, through obviously shooting on location, but also it just kept your attention, which is such a fleeting thing nowadays. Like keeping people's attention is so important for filmmakers nowadays. When there are studios and bloody streaming services telling people to write stuff with them being on their phone in mind. So having a movie where it's like, I am in this world, I am in this story, in like take me. Do you know what I mean? Is so rare and it was done
That
beautifully.
was good. That was good. That was good. I remember my one of my friends telling me to watch that. So I missed that in cinema, but she was like, "Make sure you go catch this because I think you would really enjoy this." And David was amazing in it. So I was like, "All right, you know
I'm
what? I
so
got love for
glad he's
him."
getting that love now because he's always been stellar. Like he's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, definitely. He deserves it. Definitely. I want to see more of David in the new year.
Yeah,
Definitely. More David
hopefully
in
we
the
get
new
more
year.
of him.
Yes, definitely. My number seven was Clint Eastwood's Juror number two.
Wait,
Oof.
number eight is your number eight, no?
Sorry, my number eight. Sorry.
Yeah,
My number eight was Piece by Piece, the Lego movie based on Pharrell's
the
life.
Pharrell one. I've not seen it
Yeah,
yet. I really want to see it though.
surprisingly so good. So, as a musician, as an artist, as a creative, I love what he's done. I've always been a fan. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of what he does in the background, but
Okay.
politically there is some issues there. But I'm not a big fan
Oh,
of that. But
okay.
what
I'm
he's
not
done
aware, but
creatively,
I'll take
yeah,
your word for it. Yeah.
creatively, what he's done. The movie is a fun way of telling somebody's life story using Lego. Like, I mean,
Exactly. It's interesting. It's
you
a
know,
good take.
creatively, just it works so well. I was just shocked on how well it was put together. You know, you've got the story of his life right from the beginning of how he got into music, how he saw it, and even goes through all the problems he had in life as well. Like when it came to education and dyslexia and things that he suffered that he felt like was going to be holding him back in life, which ended up making him progress even more
Yeah.
because he had a bigger vision of what you do. I mean, I think
Yeah.
as a creative, you could sidestep into so many different things. Like I am a traditional comic book artist. That's what I learned. That's what I want to do. But I ended up going into videography and music videos and directing
Yeah.
and doing workshops for art. Like you go into different streams of
It's because
different
once you
things.
realize you can do one thing, you kind of feel like, oh, I can do a lot of these things and want it to give it a
Exactly.
go, and it makes sense. Yeah,
Piece by piece tells you that story really well.
I
Uh,
love that.
the musical element, like he just done it so well. Everything kind of just he went through his timeline of music, which just worked really well with it. You had you had so many featuring characters in this as well. So piece by piece, that's my number eight. Very good,
So
very
do
good.
you feel like it didn't like my worry come because I've not seen it yet, I'll be honest.
Mm,
I do want to I do plan on seeing it, but my worry was that obviously I love the take because music biopics we're so like oversaturated with them right now. So
yeah,
it's a nice take on something that we get a lot. But my worry was with the Legos is that we ultimately won't take things serious enough because we're constantly with Legos. Do you know what I mean? Is that am I warranted in worrying to like
yeah.
with
No,
that
don't
worry?
because if you
Or
enjoyed the Lego movies,
oh, I love the Lego movie. Lego Batman
because
is so
they
fun.
still connected.
Yeah,
Still,
100%. No,
this does
100%.
the this does the same, and I think
Okay.
he knew that.
Yeah, sweet.
He knew that as a creator, thinking, you know what, I'm not gonna just do it normal. Like I saw Better Man, Robbie Williams' Better Man the other
Yeah,
day, and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh
And
my god,
again, another one where it's like interesting take.
amazing, amazing. And I think they're catching on to it now. I think directors and writers are catching on to it that we don't have to do the kind of let's find somebody like
Yeah,
Aaron Tegerton to do Elton
yeah,
John or
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
like that. We can change this up and make it a bit more creative and visually appealing for people to say, okay, that's a different take on this.
Because the best
So
music biopic in recent memory for me was the craziest and weirdest one, which is with Al Yankovic biopic. I don't know if you've seen that one. And
brilliant,
it's so good. It's so good.
so
And it's
good, so
because they
good.
were like, there's so much of this, let's flip it on its head. And if you were to tell me that like I would be kind of excited to see a Robbie Williams biopic, I'll tell you, are you crazy, bro? I wouldn't have
Exactly.
cared to go see it when he was popular, like, let alone now. And now Americans know take that. Like that's so crazy, bro. That's so
Exactly.
crazy.
So cool. Uh,
Because purely because of that choice.
no, 100%, 100%, 100%. No. So yeah, piece by piece. That's my number. Was that there? That's my number eight. Now
Yeah,
we're
I
on
love
seven.
that.
There we go.
Seven. Yeah,
Yeah.
now we're at seven. Okay, yeah. Well, again, sticking with the whole animated
Yeah.
theme, it is a movie which I hated the trailers for, like absolutely hated the trailers for. And I was just like, I have no hope for this movie. And it was so good. And that was Transformers One.
Mm.
I when I saw the trailers, I was like, oh, what are you doing to my characters? What are you doing to Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime? No, thank you. But honestly, I did not care that it was Thor, bro. I was so enthralled. I also was like, I don't know if I want a like Optimus Prime prequel. I don't know if I want this. I felt like, why are we treading over this? I don't know if I want these like I don't care about these like movie stars voicing these characters. That also was something that annoyed me. I was like, give them back to the original voice actors. A lot of them are still
Mm.
here to do that. Okay, it was a bunch of things, and then I was just and then I watched the movie, and I was just like, yeah, this is delightful, absolutely delightful. All those problems I had were gone in the first like 4 minutes, and I just
Mm. No,
watched
100%. Because
this
you sometimes
transform.
have to take yourself out of it a bit.
Yeah, oh, 100%. You got to give them a chance to like prove you wrong. And
Mm.
I'm so glad I was proven wrong because I loved it so much. And it's by far the best which is not hard, but it's the best Transformers movie
It
ever.
is. It
It
is. It
is.
is. It is.
It is.
It is.
Bumblebee's
100%.
close, but Transformers one.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's right. I think what they did with Bumblebee was really good. Uh, and we want the G1 Transformers, bro. I don't want the 3,000 pieces moving Transformers. Which, listen, the first movie I'm gonna give it did shock the hell out of me. It's not a great movie, but
Michael Bay.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
after that, it went all over the place. But I think what Josh and lucky enough, I got to do the press junket for that one.
Yeah, I
Josh,
saw that.
Josh is a fan, and he said all the guys at ILM were fans, and they said what we did. As much as we want to make this for new audiences, this is the first time we're telling this story because there's no like canon event in the comic books either about how their origin was. So how do we make this a fans movie as well? And he goes, me and the guys at ILM were just geeking out and just saying, we want to make a good movie as well. And they did it, like even me, like when I heard Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, I was like, Chris,
Up in
what?
arms.
Nah, man, what's going on here? But then, like, he grew on me,
I
He
forgot.
and
I
you
kind of
saw the
forgot,
Optimus,
bro.
yeah.
I kind of
He
forgot,
grew
which is the biggest
as
credit you can give them. And it felt like it was made by fans.
Yeah,
It
100%,
felt
bro.
like that. It
Even
felt
like
like
that,
that.
just because I'm an animation guy, I'm an artist, and like speaking to him about the process, and you could just feel the fandom coming off him. I
Yeah.
mean, even the T-shirt
You
he
lot
was
were
wearing, I
probably
was like,
nerding
bro,
out, like,
yeah, it was like, all the processes. I was like, yeah, man, I'm an artist. I used to draw these as a kid, so like for me to see them in animation form, but the way you've done it as well, like Cybertron looked gorgeous, bro. Like even when they
so
went
good.
up to the top, like it's like, how do you even think about that? Like it's such a process. But no, definitely great movie, man.
Love
I
it.
absolutely, it's still in my list. But for my
It's
number
on your
seven, it
list, but
was
is it higher up? Is that what it
higher
is?
up. Yeah, higher up. Yeah,
Okay, sweet,
higher up.
sweet,
So
sweet. Really quick,
during
Kip,
them,
because you
yeah,
said you're a comic book artist, just as like a fan, yeah,
yeah.
and someone who's your favorite comic book artist? Like, who do you reckon like inspired you the most to want to draw?
So this one's a whip. My uncle. My uncle. He was an
Love
artist.
that answer, bro.
Yeah, my uncle. He taught me how to draw. I saw him in his teenage. He's almost like my elder brother, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, he's the youngest of the family. So creative, bro. Unbelievably creative. And I saw his drawings, and I was like, wow. Like he loved architecture. He was one of those precise artists. Where I'm more of a sketch artist.
Yeah.
He was like really detailed. His lifelike drawing skills. Like he used to use a ballpoint pen and like draw me, and I'm like, Unks, how you do that?
That's incredible.
But then when he introduced me to like Superman and X-Men, very young, very young.
Was it through the
But I
comics or like through the?
through the
Yeah,
comics. So like I saw him collecting as I was in my when I was about like 7, 8 years old. But
yeah.
I think he first gave me comic books when I was like 11 years old. It was like 1991, 1992. And then he
Damn.
was like, copy these drawings
Yeah.
and you'll get better. Like trace them, draw them, you get better. And my first comic book like that, like stuck into my head was a comic book by artist John Barnes, who did Superman. He did a 6 issue run called The Man of Steel. That was it for me, man.
Was that it
I
for you?
That's it. I loved it. And then I saw Jim
I
Lee
love
do
that.
his work in X Men.
Of course.
And I was like 11, 12 at that time. And like Jim Lee's artwork is just to this day even
Incredible. It's
insane.
just
Like, and he's
incredible.
like his level of detail, the way he does things. Like, I still learn from him to this day. I still watch YouTube videos of him drawing and be like stealing techniques because he has a way with the way he works with a piece of paper. Like, give that guy a blank canvas, that guy will create art. And I think that, like, he still inspires me massively to this day. But there's other artists, bro. Like, there's anime artists. Uh, it's gone right out of my head now.
I mean, like obviously Alex Ross and Dave Gibbons for me are
Oh,
the
100%.
like the
100%.
go-to guys. Like I remember like my favorite like the first time I read Watchmen, I was like
Oof.
just looking at these illustrations, just being like, this is different level. Like this
So
is
good.
this is
So good.
something else. Like
So good.
Alan Moore is a crazy wizard. I love him, but like the artwork was just insane, like insane. And even like Craven, like it annoys me that we got the Craven movie and we're talking best movies, which I'm glad we are, so it doesn't we don't have to talk about Craven. But Craven the Last Hunt was like literally one of my first comics I've ever read in my life. And again, it was like top.
No, absolutely amazing. Those are like pinnacle comic books anyway. Like, you got your Viva Vendetta, Watchmen,
Yeah.
Kingdom Come. Those are like
Which
those
was like, I
pinnacle
feel like a
comic
lot of
books.
people's entry points, which is good. That's how I tell people if you want to get into comics, start with the classics.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, 100%.
Read
Those are
Sandman,
amazing.
read
Oh,
Swamp Thing.
Sandman. Oof.
Do you know what I mean? Read the because you got contained stories. No one's gonna confuse you with any convoluted issue run or not. Just just read them, and then if you want to, you can hop on to whatever run's going on now. If it's
Exactly.
Ultimate, if it's whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. No, absolutely amazing. Yeah, so that's how my journey started, dude. That's how my journey started. There's so
I'm
many. There's to be honest, there's not, if it's the ones, it's you're talking about the Jim Lee's the main one for me.
yeah,
Then it's like Alex Ross, Todd Nark, uh, Bill, who's another amazing artist as well. He did a comic book back in the day
Finger.
called not Bill Finger. Bill Finger, I know he's co-creator of Batman, but
He's so
I
creative.
can't. Yeah, so
Yeah,
creator,
so creative.
so creator. Uh, he's got a really, really long surname that I can't pronounce. But Bill did this comic book called Arkham Asylum, Batman and Joker. But it looks like avant-garde paint artwork. It's a beautiful book. That's one of my favorites. But I can't pronounce his surname to save my life, so I don't want to butcher it and get
And
myself
for
in
me, in
trouble.
terms of like Batman artwork, the
Yeah,
Killing Joke is
amazing, amazing,
amazing. Also, Dark Knight
absolutely
Returns
amazing.
is gorgeous as well, but the
Yeah,
Killing
yeah,
Joke
yeah, yeah.
is
Frank Miller at that time, and Killing Joke as well. Like those are pinnacle comic books that you need to read,
and
guys.
it.
Those are ones you
Daredevil
cannot miss out. Born Again,
the
yeah,
man, people will obviously read Born Again, yes, but the man with no fear, Frank
oof,
Miller's Daredevil run is the like. If you love Daredevil season one, it's because of Frank Miller. What read
exactly,
that comic? It's incredible.
exactly,
All right,
exactly.
bloody he chucks the stripper out the window. You need to read it, okay?
It's a
You
good
need to
one. You
read
guys got to
it.
read it. Yeah, you have to read that one. That one's a
You
great one.
have to. Yeah,
I've
it's so good.
completely forgot about that as well. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you not remember? Okay, number six we're on now. I'm
Number six.
not
Oh, sorry,
mistaken.
no, I didn't say my number seven. So that was
Yes.
your
Okay.
number
What's your
two.
number seven?
Clint Eastwood, amazing movie. Nicholas Hoult. So the cast is great in that. Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh,
There's so many
is
people
it
in that.
the Juror 2?
Juror two, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, really good movie, man. I love the fact that Clint Eastwood is still making movies. I think this is his last one, but if
I
he
want
does
it to
still
be
make
his last
movies,
one.
I think it's time. This is the perfect finish for him. I gotta say, it's a
Yeah.
great courtroom drama. Uh, Great performances from everybody. Uh, but I feel like because his last couple of movies weren't great, this one finishes off his legacy so well. I think this should be his
What
last
was
movie.
his last one before that? Was it Sully before this?
No, no, it was like The Mule, I think, where he plays like a drug mule. Basically,
Oh,
he plays this
I've
old
not seen
man.
the Mule.
It's okay movie. It's got Bradley Cooper in it, but it's not amazing. It's like Clint
Okay.
Eastwood does some amazing movies, like
Like
Sully.
Million Dollar Baby is so good.
100%. That's still that should be like in the top 20 of best movies in the world. You know what I mean?
It's so good.
Uh, Such a great film. Number six. Let's jump through this. Number
Number
six.
six, yeah. Number six was one that it hurt me to see it not do well in the box office at all. But it felt like such a throwback to like those like 80s classics and some of those movies. And that was Fall Guy. I
Ah,
had
that so we're matching on that one. Number six.
Hurry! Hey!
We're matching on that. We're matching on that. You're right. You're so right. I agree with you. That's a movie. I feel like it should have came out in the summer.
Yeah.
Uh, it's such a good film. It's a fun film. Like
It's so good. It's such a fun movie. And Ryan Gosling is like, I love when he does comedic leaning things. He's great
he's good.
dramatically. He's
Like the
great
nice guy.
dramatically.
Like the nice guy.
The
That's
Nice
another
Guys
great
is
film.
so good, so freaking good,
Yeah.
and he's incredible. His also like his physical comedy is incredible. Like him doing the whole toilet scene in Nice Guys and all of that stuff. When he like broke the window, like he's so good comedically. So
Exactly.
him getting to flex his muscles on this one and really kind of
Yeah.
carry this, he was so good to see. Aaron Taylor Johnson has haven't had a great year. Craven aside, but he had a great year and he was really good in that movie as well. I love David Leitch. David Leitch.
Yeah, David Lynch. Yeah, yeah.
David. Yeah, his movies are always really fun. The actions are always super like engaging, close combat as hell. Like you're just along for the ride. It felt like a really fun ride than it was, and plus it ended on a Kiss song, and that like I had that song just stuck in my head for like 2 weeks.
A long time.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
That was mate. And I was like, Fall Guy. Yeah, but the movie was really, really good as well, and it hurt to see it not do well as well.
Oh man, I think it came out at the wrong time, dude. Like, genuinely, I feel like that movie should have come out in summer. That would have been that's a summer movie. Uh, it
When
just
did it
had the
come out?
good
It felt
vibes.
like
It came out in
early summer,
February.
no?
February.
February.
It came out in
Oh
February.
yeah, it's
February.
that's
I
not a
love that
February
movie.
movie.
I That's me all day because I love 80s action, and that's my kind of like type of movie. You don't
Yeah,
have to put you no brain power. It's a good laugh. I think Emily Blunt is amazing in it as well.
and
They just have good chemistry. Like
who's
when
the
people
actress
have
from
good
Ted
chemistry,
Lasso as well? She was in it as well. She played the studio head that was setting
uh,
him up.
Heather. Oh, let's go. Ted Lasso.
Shame from Game of Thrones.
Yes, Ted Lasso cast.
Oh, name. But yeah, she was
Ted
good in that
Lasso.
movie as well.
Hannah Waddington. Weddingham. Sorry, Hannah
Who?
Weddingham. Yeah, there you go. I didn't butcher her name. My dyslexia will throw me right off. I say everybody's name's wrong. But yeah, no, definitely. So that was our number six.
Yeah,
My number five was We Live in Time.
We Live in Time.
Oh,
I've not seen that.
oh, bro. Talk about movies that can the feels in that.
Yeah,
Like I think I cried through most of that movie. Actually, you know what? This year I probably cried at two movies, but this movie made me cry all the way through. Like you know when you're like, "Come on, man, allow me, man, like stop." Like
yeah.
the performances from Florence and Andrew in this is insane, bro. Like
I
that
can't wait
level
to
of
see it. I still haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to see it
it's.
though.
And Andrew has this thing where even as Spider-Man, he made me cry anyway.
Bro, he's something about it. Something about him, bro. Like I've made a whole video essay of how much I love him as Spider-Man. Like he is my Spider-Man. Even though I
Same,
grew up with the Tobies, I grew up with the Toby movies. Like,
same.
but I just feel like nobody nailed it better than Andrew. He's Tick Tick Boom, Hacksaw Ridge,
Oh,
Social Network. He's just so got nominated for the Social Network. Like the guy can do no wrong. He's incredibly talented.
he's incredible actor. I Bro, when you watch it, we just drop me a message and we talk because that's
Sweet.
you need a therapy session after that because it's like, when you talk about love, when you talk about family, when you talk about children, and as a father myself, it's like it hit all the feels, bro. Such a
You can
great
tell
film.
they were gonna have great chemistry as well. Just based off like the
100%.
little interactions and stuff, you can tell, oh yeah, they're gonna smash it.
And that's always nice to see because you can see, and this is not a rom com. This is more serious. Uh, oh, like with some like rom coms that come on, you can tell like the chemistry is not great.
Yeah.
Like from the moment they first meet each other in that movie, you're like, oh my god, like, come on, bro, allow it. You're making my love story look so
I
basic right
agree,
now.
bro. Sometimes like sometimes like the chemistry alone
Yeah, sorry, I'm
can
just gonna pop
like
the light on.
no, you're all good. Sometimes like the
Yeah,
chemistry alone between the two leads can kind of carry the movie, even if the movie's like a bit subpar. Can't even remember the name of the movie, but do you remember the movie with Kumail and Issa Rae?
good. Oh, let's find out.
You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, I think
That
so.
movie,
Let me.
I don't remember the movie being that great, but they had insane chemistry, and you were just like, I just want to see them two together.
Yeah, what's it called? The Photographer.
Is that
No,
photographer?
is it called The
It had more of
Photographer?
like a rom-com kind of name. It was a Netflix movie, I remember.
Ah, oh,
Female.
it's come up with so many movies on here. She was in American Fiction as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
it
That's
was
quite.
Lovebirds. The Lovebirds.
Ah, okay, all right. I remember
The
that. Yeah, you're
Lovebirds.
right. You just wanted them to be together. Yeah, that's right.
You just wanted to see them like together. That's it, really. So it's just it's yeah. Sometimes that's all you kind of need. But yeah,
No, definitely.
it's more than just. It's not even a rom com. You said it's a flat out drama,
No, it's
right?
more of it's a flat out drama, man. Like
Yeah.
really emotional, really emotional. So definitely, once you've seen it, you let me know, and we could
Sweet.
do an episode on it because that's a therapy session, right? So my brother didn't watch it because he was like, "That's
Sweet.
too emotional for me," but I was like,
I'm with it. I'm
"Oh,
with it, bro. I'm all for the
yeah,
feels.
that was really good. That was really good."
I'm all
All
for
right,
the feels.
number five, dude.
Number five. Okay. Number five is if this movie all I needed this movie to do was be good, and it was going to be in my top 10 list. Number five is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
It just
So
needed to be good, and it was making it in. Okay. Like, listen, is this movie like structurally perfect? No, not really. Does it have the most memorable villain in the world? Not really. Like, is it the most fleshed out first, second, and third act? Not really. Is it as good of a script for the first two Deadpools? No. But we got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in his bag. We've got Ryan Reynolds in his bag, okay? And it's them two on a road trip having a blast. The cameos
exactly.
warranted. The cameos felt earned because it felt like the culmination of all of 20th Century Fox. It was a
Fox,
good
yeah.
set, and I needed it to be a good intro into the MCU. I got all of that. That's all I needed.
100%. I agree with you. It was in my top 10. It fell out. Uh, as I said, I fully enjoyed that movie. Fully, as a comic book fan, as a Marvel fan, as a 20th Century fan, to see Hugh Jackman after Logan doing that role again, it's like, oh my god, like it would, and the yellow costume, bro, like the emotions of it. But yeah, it slid out of my top 10, but definitely absolutely great. Was that your number five?
Yeah, number five.
That was your number five.
It's
All
pretty
right.
high
So
up. No, it's pretty high up. But like, mate, all I needed to see was Channing Tatum's Gambit. That's it. That's how I knew it was in there, bro. Because Gambit's my like favorite X-Men. Like, I don't
he's
even
amazing.
remember. I don't remember the X-Men animated cartoon. Like, Gambit was the
Oh
best
yeah,
character. Sure.
he
So
was.
I've
He
always
was.
kind of been obsessed with Gambit. So when we were getting the whole, oh, Channing Tatum's gonna play Gambit in a solo X-Men movie, they're gonna link it into the Apocalypse crew and all of that stuff, I was really down for it because it also came at a point where Channing Tatum, the whole like mindset of the whole public perception of him kind of shifted. It went from being, oh, it's the step up dude, and he's like in that movie with Amanda Bynes, and it went to, oh, he's actually funny. He can do comedy. He could do 21 Jump Street.
Yeah,
He's actually got talent. And then it kind of led itself, snowballed into like, oh, okay, I'm so down for him to be my Gambit, and it just never happened, which sucked. And it wasn't one of the biggest rumors going
no,
into like a lot of them, we got a lot bigger rumors. Like Henry Cavill, we heard before, like
yeah,
um, but Blade and Gambit, we didn't really think were happening,
they
and
kept that under wraps very well.
they did that really, really well. So yeah, to get charity, and I think I love the fact that he went super, super Cajun with it as well. Like he left no crumbs. He just went for
No,
it,
definitely, he
and it
went for it
worked so
fully.
well in that Deadpool Wolverine world. So yeah, I love that movie. Again, is it the most well-made movie of all time? No, there are
But it
glaring flaws
entertained. It entertained,
in
bro.
its job in
And it's
space.
got rewatchability as well.
In
Rewatchability. Because I've
in
seen it
space,
probably 10 times already since it's been out.
yeah.
So it's a movie that I slap on. So to have rewatchability, and that's what we always talk about in the podcast, a lot of movies don't have that no more. Like we get movies, we watch them once, we're done. But with Deadpool Wolverine, I think what Shane has done was to give us a film that people are going to watch
Trust,
over and over
100%.
again. So
And
100%.
Sean Levy is so good
Sean,
at
sorry,
like
yeah.
Sean Levy is so good at just implementing like heart when you don't expect it to be. Like the
Always.
Adam Project. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
seen
so good.
This is where I leave you. That's what like my favorite Sean Levy movie. It's like Tina Fey, Adam Driver, Jason Bateman. They kind of play a group of siblings who have to like sit shiva after their dad dies.
Ah,
It's really well done. So I only say that to say that like the heart aspect of Deadpool and Wolverine purely just comes from just Sean Levy, his natural directing ability as well. So
okay.
he made us care about the backstory of this Wolverine that we never met before. Like all of us going into this, if you were to tell us in like 2017 or the couple years going after it, be like, oh, we're gonna bring Wolverine back and we're gonna bring Hugh Jackman back, we would have been like, don't you dare. Don't you
No,
dare. That was a
100%,
perfect
100%.
ending. Don't you dare do that. If you tell us that, oh, by the way, the next Deadpool movie is going to open up with him like dance around to NSYNC around his bones, using it to like slap up some TVA members, we would have been like, don't disrespect him. But the way it was done was so well intentioned. You can tell the intention behind this movie was so pure.
100%,
And that
100%,
alone, you can
100%.
just push it up. Yeah.
No, definitely. Good meal. It is a good film. It is a good film. It's a rewatchable movie, but
Sorry,
it's
watchable.
yeah, it's just rewatchable, definitely.
And I'm
As
aware
a
of its
comic book fan,
problems, so I get it why it's not in your
yeah,
top 10
yeah, yeah,
because it
yeah, yeah,
has
yeah,
its
yeah,
problems 100%.
yeah, 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 definitely. My number five was Transformers One, so we already kind of dove into that. So let's go into number four.
Such a pleasant surprise that was.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I did not expect it to be that good, dude. I ended up watching it like four times in the cinema.
Oh, I can't wait to see it again. I'm giving it
Yeah,
a bit
it's
of
just
time and
such
then
a
I
good
can't wait.
watch.
It
Such a
was
good
so
watch.
fun. Another
So
really good watch, back to animation. For me, number four is Wild Robot.
beautiful, absolutely
You
beautiful.
even need
I
to
don't even know what to say.
like,
That's
mate,
higher up in my list. That's higher
really?
up in my list. Yeah,
Okay, maybe
higher
we
up
can
in my
save
list.
a little bit of the convo for when we get to higher up in your list.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Let's do that. Let's. Yeah.
I just did not see that coming, and I just enjoyed it thoroughly. But
Oh,
yeah,
bro, I didn't.
that's
I
where I
same here.
thought Wild Robot.
I did not think I was going to enjoy that movie as much as I did, and I watched it with my daughter, and she was like, "Why are you crying, Dad?" Like, shit. You will when you get older, you will understand that this is how I feel. You know what it's like with parenting and society around you, and everybody working together works better than everybody being separated.
Has it
You know,
made you more emotional? Like, do you? I already cry at movies, like, bro, like Big Daddy, like Adam Sandler's Big Daddy used to make me cry all the time, bro.
bro.
Like, I'm
That
already easy, but does having like kids make you more like emotional when it comes to like, do you cry easier at movies since having kids?
so I could tell you exactly was the first movie that made me cry was Green Mile. The Green Mile was the
Oh,
first
yeah,
movie that
Michael
I
Clark Duncan,
ever,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
that was an ugly cry in the cinema. I
yeah.
was there for 3 hours, and I did
In the
not
cinema,
expect that,
oh,
bro. Like
you do not
literally,
look your age, man. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, honestly. But when you
thank
just
you,
said
bro.
Green Mile in the cinema, I was just like, what? I was like,
Like
oh
me
yeah,
and my because we'd go watch everything, bro. But that movie, that was the first time I ever ugly cried in a movie and in
yeah.
a film in general. Like, uh, but as a parent now, yes, everything touches me differently because,
I bet,
like,
bro.
I think the world we live in right now is horrible. Like
It's so
the
easy to
reality
just
of
be
it.
depressed. Yeah,
So, like, uh, but those are tears of joy as well. Like, it makes me as a parent be proud of where I'm at the moment now.
yeah.
So the Wild
Brother,
Robot, yeah, definitely great movie, bro. Great movie. But I'm not
great
crying
movie.
now anyway, bro. I cry at everything.
Yeah, same. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, bro. What's your number four?
My number four is Superman, Christopher Reeve story. So not, it's a movie, it's a documentary. Uh, Again, the movie that destroyed me when I watched that in the screening. And looked around and saw everybody like snot, tissue, everything. I think what Peter and Ian did, putting all that footage together and wanting to tell his story a bit more.
Mm,
Like, I didn't know that he started having movement in his toes. Like, I didn't know he was such an advocate as well in the way he wanted to get things done to let people know about the Reeves Foundation and what his wife was doing as well. Like the story about him and his relationship with his kids and his wife, bro. Oh my god! Like it only makes you uh, adore this character even more. Even though he played the character of Superman, but he struggled to play that character as well. Like
yeah,
uh, towards the end when he was doing 3 and 4, because like, studio's sake, directing, he didn't have the love and passion for it, like he wanted to do other things. Like it makes you see him as an artist that didn't, he got typecasted in a role and he got stuck with that because anything else he tried didn't really work. And he
yeah,
had a massive catalogue of movies as well. And he went back to theatre. He's a theatre guy. So,
yeah. He's Juilliard, right?
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. So like the guy had so much more to offer, but what he went through after the accident, uh, it's beyond inspiring. It's beyond like, what do you do, bro? You have no feeling from the neck down. How do you live? How does that,
the
there's a
priorities
moment
shift
where
immediately. You're just like everything becomes a lot more like this is what's more important in life. Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah. So like, oh, yeah, so that's
Oh,
was that number
I'm
four?
so like I'm so glad you mentioned that movie because Um, I just love the weight he felt playing Superman when
Mm.
he took so much into that, and I also think he also had a weight about just being an actor as well. I don't know if you've seen like his him talking about like Marlon Brando or like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
him
yeah,
being like I love that about him where he's like no we have a responsibility and it just felt it's very he just exudes the I hate to say it because he felt like he was typecast later on but he just exuded like Superman is just so
yeah, yeah,
it just
100%.
it sweats off him like so and that 1978 Superman movie is like a lot of people's like entry into the fandom as well, and it was yeah the dude is a absolute icon.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, uh, what was that? Number five or four?
Number four,
That was number four. Yes,
yeah,
number four. All right, cool. So, what was your number four, dude?
yeah. I already said mine was a Wild Robot, but we're talking more
Oh, yeah,
about it when
sorry.
we
All
get
right.
yeah
So,
yeah yeah
yes.
yeah
All
yeah.
right. So, my next one was this one's a tough one. So tough.
All right, number
Tough.
three, right?
Number three is going to be Inside Out.
Oh, it didn't crack my top 10, you know.
Inside Out. Oh, man. Something about that movie where it talked about anxiety and the way anxiety tries to help you, but can make situations even worse.
Yeah.
Uh, but it just made me think about, for me as a parent, what my daughter's going to go through as she grows older
Mm.
and trying to understand her as she grows older as well. And it's weird, like Pixar makes movies not just for kids, but the adults that take those kids.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
100%.
and listen, bro, that movie was so good. Like I don't know how they're making these movies so good and how it's connecting, but I think as the effect, and I said my list is about how these movies made me feel. Uh,
Yeah.
Inside Out dives deep into mental health and what teenagers are going to go through, and it just kind of made me think about planning myself on how to talk to my little girls when they get older and trying to when they get lost in the world, and we all do,
I
both
thought it was
sides.
so good. I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah,
I
definitely,
thought it was
very
really
good. So
well
that's
done.
that's my number three. What's yours,
Sweet,
bro?
sweet, sweet, sweet. Number three for me was Saturday Night.
Ooh, that's a good bro. That was very good.
Like I said, bro, I'm a big comedy dude, anyways. But like, I'm
Yeah,
also a huge SNL.
yeah,
Like I'm a bit of an SNL nerd as well. So to get to see like the lead up for the first taping, um, I'll be honest, bro. Going into this movie, obviously I was excited just because it's an SNL biopic. Jason Reitman, I'm like the guy who should be doing it. I'm so excited for this. But then when the Dylan O'Brien casting really took me off. Like I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how I feel about Dylan O'Brien with that playing Dan Aykroyd. But I'm always like, okay, leave my feelings to the side. I'm going to it. And every performance was
Was great.
stellar. Stellar.
Yeah, was
And
great.
the hardest thing to do as well is like be like, okay, this is a group of people who are the funniest people on the earth. We're telling you they are the funniest people on the earth, but they're still able to make you like laugh.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Do you know
No,
what I
it's
mean?
so interesting. So good.
So
So
well
good.
done. Constantly on the edge of your seat, like
Yeah,
constantly
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, are they gonna make it? Are they not gonna make it? Obviously, we knew they're gonna make it, but
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
it's that anxiety. That's the good anxiety is when like that uncut gems anxiety. But this was just for like
Oh, bro.
Saturday Night Live. Bro, the performances again, like Dylan O'Brien as Dan Aykroyd killed it. The Riddler playing Chevy Chase was so good, so good. Um, Milton Burrows being played by J.K. Simmons, amazing. So like the guy who played Lauren Michaels as well killed it. Like I loved it so much.
So good, right? Good
Yeah,
casting. I think
that's my
that
number
movie
three.
that they deserved that cast, man. That cast was amazing. That's such a good cast.
Yeah,
And as you said, the level of anxiety as well, trying to get to that point.
bro. Like I so I felt that level of stress and anxiety when it comes to like shooting and film and having to produce stuff on a so much
Yeah,
more of a smaller scale. And I've so having to see it that on that and like be like, oh my God, this brother is about to like disintegrate right now. Like the amount of stress
insane.
he's going through must be through the roof. And not even knowing if they're gonna be like on or not, that must have been crazy. And having to deal with all of those egos, like
Yeah.
Belushi and like Chase and all those guys. It made us feel the weight of all of it. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Because
definitely,
it's
definitely.
like SNL. So like, yeah, I absolutely loved it. Great, great film.
No, it was really good. All right, cool. Oh man, the top two, the top two. This
Top
has been
two.
hard. This has been hard. This has been hard. All right. Why, man? It's struggling. So number two is going to be the Wild Robot for me.
Okay,
Uh,
sweet.
I think the adaptation from the book into an animation is always going to be easy because it just transcends so well. An animation, you could do so much with it. Uh, a story that I didn't think when I took my daughter to watch this because I wasn't able to go to the screening for this one, and it was perfect to go take my little girl to watch, and she absolutely
Mm.
adores it. Uh, but for me, as a parent, it just struck, you know,
DreamWorks
and like
have been killing it. Like Wild Robot
so
was
good,
no different. It was so good.
so good. And again, the cast, the cast bring these voices, these characters to life so well. It's like I love animation, but now I've found this new love for voice acting as well, and
Yeah.
what people can bring to that as well. Because like somebody like Jason Bateman, he's already got a distinctive voice
Yeah.
and characters that he suits. I think what he
You're just
did
thinking of
as
Fox and Zootopia.
exactly, and it was like wow, it really worked. And I think what Lupinda did as well was sorry, did I say that right? Let me say this right. I can't.
Lupita.
Lupita, that's right. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think what she did, brought to the role and how she kind of gradually grew in that role uh, was beautiful. It was a beautiful transcending
Yeah.
moment, dude.
Oh, the progression from it was so beautiful. And I honestly think it might be a lock for best animated picture.
I hope, bro. I
I
really
think
hope
it's a
so because
lock. I really do
and
think
I
it's a lock.
Chris who did the soundtrack as well. It's such an uplifting soundtrack. I absolutely love it, man. I love everything about that movie. There was
It's
something,
stuck with me for so long. Like it's stuck with me. Do you know what I mean? And it
yeah.
made you it walked out. I was like, bro, I feel a bit more optimistic. I don't know. I'm not this is a new feeling for me, optimism. I like
No,
it.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no,
What's
I
your
love
number
that
two, dude?
movie. Number two for me, again, I was wary coming into this because like we're going back to a trilogy I love so much. I love the Apes movies. I'm a big Apes guy, so I was really nervous coming into it, especially Matt Reeves not doing it as well. But
Yeah,
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was such a fun time in the cinema for me, and I absolutely adored it. I thought the performances were great. I loved how they handled a sequel. I think this is the perfect way to deal with sequel treatment. Is it was distant enough where we're not like tied to the trilogy in any way or like
hmm
Star Wars take notes. But it's also at a point where like sort of just the ideologies and the messagings that Caesar was trying to put forth to the apes has kind of like it's kind of warped. I mean,
and
kind of the
yeah,
way
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
back to like Rorschach with Watchmen or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like a lot of these people perceiving it maybe a bit differently, just because of time like stuff changes. And just to see that and to see the kingdom flourish with the apes and sort of the humans being like the lower of the species and getting to see that dynamic now. I just thought it was super interesting. I was invested in these young apes. Every time the humans were on the screen, I was like, kind of bored of you lot now. Let's go back to the monkeys. But I absolutely loved it. Kevin Durant as Proximus Caesar was insane, incredible performance, and I hope he gets so much work like coming out of as well.
I think he deserves it. He's
He's
one of those
been incredible.
underrated actors.
He's always been
Yeah.
incredible. He was even good in Origins Ring movie. Nobody was good at that. Will I Am was in that movie. That's how you know no one's going to be good in that. And Kevin Durant was actually good in it. So the fact that like we were able to have have an Apes movie, not too far off from the incredible trilogy that they gave us with the Reeves movies, but be able to sort of feel like it's not incumbent, it's not reliant on it, and it's not also not handcuffed by it. It's its own thing, but has that beautiful link in a like very soft way, and
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
works.
100%.
Very soft,
Very
very meaningful way.
agreed. 100% agree. It didn't make my top 10, but it was one of those movies that I did really enjoy as well. I didn't even think about it. I feel like honestly, I think I forgot about it. Not in a bad
It
way.
was such a yeah.
I think during the list making, it didn't make the list. But as I said, what Wes Ball did is absolutely amazing. I think the technology has advanced on such a level, bro, where you can't even tell now, which is
innit?
amazing.
You can't
Amazing.
even tell.
Seamless. Seamless. All right, good movie. All right, that's a good one. Number two. All right, the number one, dude.
Number one. I feel like
Number one.
it's
We
do
both got the same one, haven't we?
yeah, it's gonna be. It's Dune 2, innit? Like
Lesan Al Gaib. Lesan Al Gaib. Oh
it's
my
Dune
God.
2. If a
Muad'Dib.
movie can make me slightly shook at a skinny Timothy Chalamet, you've done your job. You've done your job. When my
You
man
know,
said it was like, I'm Paul Atreides, I was like, oh yes, you are. Fair enough. Fair enough. You did your thing. Dune 2 is outstanding. Not only one of the best experiences in the cinema this year, maybe in a decade for me. I'm telling you, I
wow.
absolutely loved this movie so much.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's a big thing. Like for me, in the past what 2 decades, it was Mad Max Fury Road, what George Miller did. I think that's like my favorite kind of
yeah,
experience in the cinema.
yeah.
But I can say this is kind of on the same level, but with a bit more depth of Frank Herbert's world. Uh, Listen, man, this is the books that inspired Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica and all of these movies. This is like the origin of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
real
think
Anakin.
yeah, bro. Like I think what Denise has done, what it's just insanely good, bro.
And
And I'm not a big fan of Timothy Chalamet, to be honest. He's
really,
only won me over in his performance in Wonka and Dune Part Two. Even in the
see,
first one, I found him very like I don't know. He was really good in The Boy, but bro, what
beautiful.
he's
What's it
done
called?
now,
Beautiful. The one with Steve Carell. Beautiful
Beautiful Boy,
boy.
yeah, Beautiful Boy, yeah, Beautiful Boy. Uh, but in general, I was like, I don't like. I don't know. There was something about him I didn't like, but now I see what he carries with him.
I kind of was with you where I'm like, I think you're a good actor, but I don't know. I feel like I'm getting too much of you right now. Like you're getting pushed in our faces. That when your acting abilities doesn't warrant that. I just felt like you should be like. It just was like someone like a Gerald Jerome,
Yeah,
who's
yeah, yeah.
like he's like equally as talented as you. Like, why is it? Do you just happen to look like a Victorian? Like, you're like the sort of like archetype of what like is attractive right now, and that's
That's
why
right.
you're
Yeah.
how I thought
No.
it. Like, that's how I came to it. But because I even remember him being like, he was even on the shortlist for the MCU Spider-Man. Like, the dude has been about. Like,
He has.
he's
No, that's right. He
he's
has
been
been about
about.
definitely.
But
But
honestly,
I like the
no,
path
I'm
he's
with
on.
you. But Dune 2, I was like, oh, this man is serious. This boy is serious. Even Wonka, bro. The thing with Wonka was like, I remember before the movie came out, the options for who they wanted to play Wonka was him, Timothy Chalamet, Ryan Gosling, Ezra Miller, or Childish Gambino. And I just think any other option aside from Timothy Chalamet would have been more interesting. That's why
Hundred
how I
percent.
kind of came
Hundred
into
percent.
it.
Like I
I
was
just
like,
like,
he blew me away, bro.
but
I
he
was
was
like, oh my
really
god,
good.
you man, you got me singing to these tracks as well. I'm like, what's going on there, bro?
And now going into this, I'm also like, I love Bob Dylan's music as well. So I was so fearful, but I'm looking at just the footage because I still haven't gotten to see
He looks
to see
amazing, bro.
it. Yeah, but just the footage, it looks amazing. Like
No, definitely.
he just sounds like him. It's him, and I'm just like, oh, okay, he's
He's
our new
sold.
like Leo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've
definitely, without a
surrendered to
doubt.
that.
Exactly. Uh, there you go, guys. We did our top 10. I know it's New Year's Day. This is all the movies from 2024. Uh, Bro, amazing list, amazing
Thank
breakdowns.
you.
We will have to do definitely another episode. We've run up to an hour and a half right now. I didn't even realize that.
Wow,
Uh,
sorry about
so
that.
we proper no, don't be sorry. That means we vibed, and that's always nice to have a guest that we
Awesome.
can vibe with. Where can we find you, dude? So I want to have all the details in the descriptions, but
Yeah,
let the
man.
people know where we can find you.
I am Happy Doomsday on YouTube, Happy Doomsday on TikTok, on Instagram. Post reels on TikTok, on Instagram, and I am trying to be more consistent on long form videos for Happy Doomsday, my YouTube channel. So please check it out. Give it a
Go
listen. Give it
subscribe,
a
go
watch
subscribe,
if
guys.
you,
Go
yeah,
subscribe,
please do.
follow his journey, definitely,
Please
without a
do.
doubt. Amazing. Thank you so much for your time, bro.
Thank you for
That was a
so much for
really good
having me
breakdown.
again.